Namaste. Welcome back, beautiful souls, to Top Tarot Miners. And today is the Two of Cups. And this gorgeous card, Venusian Decan, if you read it that way, the beginning of Cancer season. This is the transition from the letting go, the surrender in the Ten of Swords, into the summer season. And I suppose the winter, if you are in the southern hemisphere, excuse me. I always need to keep that in mind. But also remember that the majority of tarot decks are written and illustrated from a northern hemisphere perspective. So that does bias the energy, and I have yet to find a southern hemispheric centric deck. And if I were to find one, I would definitely purchase it to read for my friends in the southern hemisphere. And on that tangent, wouldn't that be interesting if a deck creator had a version for both hemispheres? And I know there are guidebooks, there are different moon journals and so forth that do that. So, yeah. Anyway, Two of Cups. Gorgeous, gorgeous card. Yin and Yang. And I don't want to dismiss the healing energy that this deck evokes. The healing of the soul, the healing of my heart. And I think it's really poignant that we have a Caduceus in the Waite-Smith deck, and there is this energy of mending something. And when I look at the White Sage Tarot, which is the one with the two green, maybe the green tea pouring out of the two cups over here, that's what that reminds me of. We come together so we can heal. And we are going to allow ourselves to feel everything. And we will feel everything in this journey of relationship. 90% of the time, this is about a very personal and close and intimate relationship. Occasionally, this can reflect somebody who you are, and I'll use the word intimately, but this might be in a project, intimately involved in. You have invested so much emotion together in something. And I think that is one of the keys in understanding this card, is that it allows us, or it encourages us, to feel fully. And when I turn to the Golden Dawn decanic associations, and I think of the energy of Venus and all of the sensual experiences in this world of taste and touch and sight and being and living life, I think it's really important in this card to really linger on all of the senses. Hello, Laura. Yeah, I've talked about that before, about decks, and it is it's really interesting. And I've had conversations with Southern Hemisphere clients and friends as well too, and it really is something that's missing from our tarot world. I'm going to read to you from the Marielle, because there is nothing more poignant than what Marie White has to say about the Two of Cups. The Rose and the Lily. Now in her deck, the twos represent different parts of the body, and this particular two is the heart, beating and bleeding, taking in, moving out, a constant force from the beginning, where we rise from the dark waters of the high priestess, like Poseidon's horses running in the surf. Blood and water, passion and purity, animal and human. These energies are the horses that pull the chariot of the soul. the Merkaba, the throne of God through our lives. These two horses are ripples in the water that arise from our thoughts, actions, love. They go out and they come back. They are sphinxes guarding the pyramids of the sun, our connection to every other thing. Our very existence in the water affects every other part of the water, and care should be taken to know your horses. Drive them with equilibrium and love. This is the connection between yourself and the rest of the world. After a space is made of fire lit in it, we are released on the world for good and ill. Just like everything else, the patterns repeat in all the worlds, in eternity, in the physical world, in our life, inside our bodies. This is the force of love, which attracts and binds together, unites, coagulates, cooperates. What drives our soul drives our body. The yin and yang outside are matched by our mate on the outside, and the whole universe is driven on duality and the tension between opposites, without which there would be only one. We are the same, and the contract and release of the heart, the rhythm of the heart, is the very core, essential for life. I mean, really, what else is there to say? I mentioned Eden Gallanter, I believe, Chemonet Tarot, when I was starting to talk about water, and her reflection on this suit as well too is that our response and relationship with water varies. You know, sometimes it is a drop in a puddle. Other times it is a tsunami, and so we must be very cautious with this precious element, for good or for ill, how we respond and how we receive and how we give. This wave of water, this suit, is very precious and highly, highly volatile. And I would say it's even more unpredictable and volatile than the suit of swords, and we must be very careful with nurturing this element. It is in this suit we have 3 double planetary cards, and in no other suit is there that kind of emphatic energy where we have a decan planet that matches the planet either of the number or of the zodiac sign. And in some cases we have a triple in the 5 of Cups, for example, right? Triple Mars card. So these energies are ever flowing, and let's be mindful of how we drive our horses. And there's just so much goodness in all of these cards. And I know there's another story. This is from Tarot of the Divine here. There is another story as well, I believe, in, I don't know if it's this deck. It may be in the Dark Goddess Tarot, where feminine deity seeks out her lost masculine counterpart, discovers that he has been cursed and turned into a beast, and regardless of the circumstances, she is there to protect and to be with him, because there is this magnetic energy that he is the yin to her yang, and she is the yin to his yin to yang and yang to yin. Hello, Matt. Welcome. And I really want to honor this and remember that it is the reflection that is so very important. And when I look at the card from Tarot of the Divine, that the gentleness of the facing partner is brought out in the beast, and perhaps a strength and a beauty and strength is brought out in the partner on the right. And so we dance in relationship and we heal. Yeah. This way over here buried is the dust to onyx tarot. And this one takes a little bit to see what's going on here. I absolutely love the suit of cups in this tarot, the way that the water, it's almost a tactile experience. And in some of the cards, you can feel the raised paint of the water. But here we have two figures walking. They each have a gourd on their head, a water container on their head. And you can't completely see the one that is up here, but you can see the hands. You can see the hands. And there's a mirror reflection. And that, I think, is what can be so very challenging. And yes, of course, this card can represent love and intimacy and an awareness, or entering into perhaps, how can I say this? The soulmate or the twin flame energy, and that's a huge discussion about how I perceive that. But this card really does signify a powerful reflection that is going to take us deep into our heart and deep into healing. And the pearl there's just so many ways we could go with describing that card. This is the Arthurian Tarot. This sweet little card here. And I didn't take the guidebook out and read it. This is the Lowrider Dachshund Tarot. And in this deck, there are lots of stories where puppies are injured or they come from different families. And I think this is so sweet. You know, this is the story of the brown puppy loves the black puppy. And there's a reason why he's wearing a red jacket. Maybe he's cold or he's gone through surgery and he's healing. And this other puppy is recognizing that he needs some tender care. If you don't know this deck, this is a beautiful deck for journeying through grief. It's called the Lowrider Dachshund Tarot by Melissa Wotherspoon. And lots of other great cards here. Now these journeys to love sometimes take lifetimes. And sometimes these journeys aren't healed in any one lifetime. And so we come together again and again and again with the same partner and work to find this deep healing of self. And when I think of the story of Krishna and Radha and how they journeyed through lifetimes to find one another, it's really the ultimate love story. I have a tender spot for this is the World of the Hilda Tarot by Rhys Marin. And this Two of Cups card really says something about the deep inner love of self and contentment. And I think in the Two of Cups, we also have that possibility of finding healing and contentment within. And depending on who I'm reading for and, how the conversation is going, I often do go back to the Ten of Swords, because that decanic journey from the final decan of Gemini to the first decan of Cancer tells this beautiful story of letting go. And if indeed we do let go, and we let go, we let God, we let go of control, then life is going to open up all kinds of beautiful things for us. And so there's different ways that I like to approach this Two of Cups story. With this card here, this is a White Sage Tarot. The one in a tin, a little smaller. Green signifying heart chakra. Now the element of water is Swadhisthana, sacral chakra. But as a heart card, it definitely connects with a lot of the other stuff I have been saying here. And the coming together of two hearts to heal. And I think it's very clever the way that the green liquid replicates the shape of the caduceus in the Two of Cups, in the Waite Smith Tarot. Hidden Avika, namaste and welcome. I'm not doing readings. I'm simply discussing the energy of cards here today. The next time I will be back for live readings is, I believe, the 2nd of September. So you can look and mark that date on your calendar. I believe the thumbnail is up on my page. This card here, and I did have another one on my list, and that was the Tristan and Isolde card from the Beautiful Rebellion, but I've put that deck away. It's in my to be sold pile. But I was reading the guidebook and just reminded of how challenging and the number of obstacles that people have to overcome to find each other. Sometimes literally find each other, but find a place to meet and to see each other in a way, and to see that reflection. And that can take a lifetime. It can take 30 years of marriage. It can take war. It can take all kinds of things. And this one from the Everyday Witch, I have a very soft spot for Shirley Valentine, if you know the movie. And while she may not, in this particular, and I have no idea if this is, if these creators know the movie Shirley Valentine, but this is what it reminds me of. At the end of the movie, her husband makes a long journey for him from the UK to Greece to meet his wife. And he doesn't recognize her because she has changed. She has found happiness and freedom. And that happiness and freedom reflects in how she acts and what she wears and the way she moves her body. And of course he does recognize her, but he's kind of taken aback by what a truly happy wife looks like. And while there is no indication that he will stay and they will get together or go back to the UK, she's awakened something in him. And I think that is that is what true love is that we reflect something back to the other for their greatest good, for their healing. So those are a few thoughts on the Two of Cups. And now I'm going to choose my top 5 Two of Cups. One will be the Marielle, one will be the lovely Om Tarot. I do really like the Hilda, World of Hilda. There's a few Hilda decks out there. This is the World of Hilda. And then I will choose 2 others. I think this is actually very clever. Maybe Tarot of the Divine. I mean, there's a reason that many of these decks come to the table, and the exercise is to choose 5, but you can tell, with heart, with feeling. I speak to most of the selections that I bring to the table. Yeah. So here are, left to right, 5 very poignant Two of Cups. Tarot of the Divine by Yoshi Yoshitani. This is World of Hilda by Rhys Marin. This is the lovely Om Tarot. Darshani is the creator. This is the Marielle Tarot by Marie White. And over here is the White Sage Tarot. And her name is Teresa, I believe. I do have the tin. I've said everybody else's name. Teresa Hutch. That's it. Teresa Hutch. Yeah, I'm just looking at the back of the box. I think this is a very interesting, this is the Lover's card with 2 seahorses. Okay, well, that's enough for today. I will be back tomorrow with the 3 of Cups and carrying on with this journey. This is a 56 card, 56 episode series. And in between, I will be returning every 2 weeks or so to Top Tarot Trumps. Thank you for watching. Have a lovely rest of your day. Namaste.